Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Settlement Survival. Up for a fantastic and amazing day today. In this one, we have to deal with a couple things. We have to take some more time and kind of do a little bit of maintenance work. As we're sitting here, you can see we have a lot of snowflakes. We got a lot of meat pops, so we got to do a little bit of work to try to address those things. Something that I've been doing a little bit in between episodes, you can kind of see some of the roads, most of them hopefully, are now dotted with the dark spots, and that's for obsidian roads to take their place. I probably waited way too long to try and upgrade our roads, so we're finally getting into that. I've had to turn off 2 of our schools in between immigrant batches here. We are losing people hand over fist. Most people are dying of old age, but you can see here we have somebody of starvation. We got another old age too right there. So we luckily just got some more immigrants. We've gotten probably about 40 people from the schools, and we're still really struggling to keep up. We have a couple problems that are appearing. I'd mentioned the food. You can see we're down to now 37,000 food. At one point, I think we were well over 100,000 food. You can see that water is also becoming a problem, and so is clothes. So we got a lot of work to do. So instead of jumping into a whole new industry for this episode, I think we're going to do a couple of passive-y things. Those are going to be the marquee and the house upgrades. So nothing super duper in this episode as far as new things go, but I think it's going to be an important time to take a second and try and maintain what we have already. We also got these farms completed over here, and I was going to put some immigrants over here to try and help out with our food situation, but as you can see, we're now down to 8 laborers all of a sudden. So yeah, we're just losing people like crazy. And to combat that, I've been kind of going through, what I've been doing is clicking on this, so everything shows up, and then pausing the game and going through my industries, and like these are brand new. We just got silk up, we just got jewelry up. I've taken people out of here. This one I should take somebody out of, get the carving workshop backed off. I'm just going through and trying to take a step back to try and maintain our population here. It's crazy. When you're losing so many laborers so often, it's so difficult to do anything. We just have to go through and try and kick things back a little bit. We have no gem mines happening right now. We have no quarry happening right now, mainly because it's empty. We're trying to upgrade what we got in the last episode, but we still are struggling with steel, and we're still struggling with lanterns. Steel is one industry that I decided to cut back a little bit on. We have quite a few right in here, and I've taken 6 people out of here to try and maintain our population a little bit. Trying to upgrade, but again, we need the steel and the lanterns as well. So we're kind of struggling to get those things happening. I'm probably going to need to back off a couple of iron ores here, so let's take some people out of there. We definitely don't need that many. We'll go with 4 for now. We're back up to 11, so let's continue the game here. We have to figure something out here quickly. Once we run out of food, we're going to have huge problems. We have a ridiculous amount of people on salt works right now. We're still like no reserves on salts. So the curing workshops are working, but not maybe as good as they could be. 348 salted fish is pretty good, but 84 here is not that good. Well, and also there's 1 worker versus 3. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So we really need to get some more farms going, I think, is what we got to do. Now we're down to 0 laborers. So I'm not sure exactly what I can really do here to get the workers I'm going to need to try and produce the food. I have to prioritize food, I think. I'm going to do that. I wish I could see the overall graph for food in general. I can see individual bits, but I wish there was one for overall. But let's just take a look at peas real quick. We have tons of other food sources, but peas is our main ones from our fields. And we're down by 10,000 right here for peas. We really need to do something about it. And so kind of on that track, we started doing a little bit of trading right here. We got to level 1 and almost level 2. So we have the paper mill now and bamboo seeds. We don't really need any of this stuff, nor do we need private school or tofu. But we're trying to get down to the dense farms, the dense orchard, and the dense forest farms. These are the best farms in the game. They increase the production by 50%. Plantations are 25. So if we can get there, we'll be looking pretty okay, I think. I just have to keep going around And I think I have to find that other school as well. And we are just going to have to turn off all the schools for now. I don't really want to do that because we're losing the efficiency of having the graduated workers, right? But at this point, I can't just have 0 and like people just dying all over the place. I have to do something. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Another issue I think I'm having is when we got our logistics technology of delivery, this is saying workers in marketplaces will deliver food, water, and fuel to nearby citizens. So we're having a handful of people who are dying of starvation. So one thing that I'm suspicious of is maybe this is just too much of a job for one person to deal with in the marketplace. So do I need to add a couple more vendors? But again, it's those workers that I can't keep on top of to be able to provide an extra worker for the marketplaces. And maybe that's just kind of a compounding problem. So let's go through. We'll dedicate a couple workers here to having 2 people in majority of our marketplaces. I don't think like this little one is necessary to have 2, but this one probably needs 2. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to go through here and cycle through, and on bigger ones, yeah, that's kind of borderline. We'll give them 2. I'm going to absolutely add in more workers. This one needs 2. It looks like I had 2 at one point. We don't have that now. Okay, that's everything. We have 2 vendors now in each place. So my hope is with that, that's going to help deal with some of these meat pops that are running around. We do have the food. It's just not getting to where it needs to be. So I think the vendors are going to help that. Once these obsidian roads really take hold, that's going to be a huge deal. Down over here, you can see how fast these meat pops are flying across this obsidian roads. The 125% movement speed is super great. And it's really late. I need to do stone roads in between dirt roads and obsidian roads, I think. It would help out a lot. We just gotta keep going through, and I've been meaning to check the harvest rates on our plantations. I do have the iron tool upgrades in each of our plantations, so we have that going for us, but I want to make sure that of how much are we bringing in from each crop. So that's my goal for this year. It's currently May, so we got a few months yet before we get to harvest. But I want to be able to watch and see what are we actually taking off the fields. How much is getting wasted by winter? And if there's a lot, we're going to have to just adjust a little bit and put more workers on the fields like we had before. These are the regular old farms, so we probably want to have more people on these. But as you can see, we got a couple holes here. And I don't want to just empty out our reserves, our laborers, because then when people die, there's nobody to replace them. You know, we need to have a little bit of the stockpile of people saved up, of free laborers. So another thing, let's just keep looking around. We're going to keep tweaking back a little bit on our industries. We don't want to take out like a key industry, right? Like tools. We don't want to totally back off all of our tool makers, but we can tweak it a little bit. We currently have a good amount of steel tools saved up. So that's why I was backing off a couple of iron tools. So we should do that as well. Let's go through and let's turn off our iron tool creations. Looks like we have done so already. So that's excellent. So we just have the 2 smithies right now making us steel tools, and those are pretty good. So we're going to have those going for a while. They should sustain us pretty well. Looks like we got a pretty good senior mine here. We got 10 people in there. We could back that off a little bit. But look at this. Our domestic fuels are also super low. So we've just got a lot of problems going on right now. And I'm just kind of not 100% sure what I can really do. I feel like I just have to wait out the partial death waves here. If we didn't have the people dying from old age, it would be mostly starvation. And we could handle that a little bit better because we'd have more people to deal with it. But it's just not working that way right now. So I'm just kind of watching. That's what I've been doing. Watching and making little tweaks here and there. In between episodes, and just kind of putting my obsidian roads all over the place too. Just seeing where we can adjust. I want to have soap. I need to have health, right? I was looking at these. We're doing pretty great with our happiness and health tiers, 87 and 84%. We have currently no effects and no effects, so that's decent. I think agitated is food consumption of plus 10%. At this point, that would be no good for us right now. So I have to keep the happiness up a little bit. We have to watch our shoes, our garments, and think everything else will take care of itself as long as we have people running that stuff. If you have churches, and now we have a mosque, so if we have those people that are working in those die off, we're going to lose our religion bonus, and we don't want that. Because then we're going to start to lose our happiness, and then if we hit that minus 10% food consumption, or plus I guess it is, it's going to be not good. We did get one more point. We could grab the villa. I just wanted to take a quick peek if there anything else passive related that we could get. The book would be all right to get, but that's not passive and kind of irrelevant right now. We do have this, which would be nice, but I can't get that without getting to book. Trades, I would kind of like to get to high-speed trades, shorten the round trip time, but we need trading posts for that, so we can't quite get there just yet. The water trading post is awesome. It's a great caravan to get, but takes forever and a lot of people. I think it's like 20 people for a decently low death rate. Mining, I was thinking about getting into the silver and minting and gold mining in this episode, but when I noticed how many people we were failing to hold, I decided that that probably wasn't going to be the greatest idea in this episode. Maybe if we get this under control, we'll deal with that in the next episode. Then we can make some of our own coins and do a little bit of gold smelting and sifting and getting some of that. That'd be good. Construction, there's nothing really that can help deal with our problem. So on to the next. Agriculture, we have this all completed. Processing. So one thing that might help as a passive is this right here. Clothes durability plus 50%. Now we are running, you can kind of see it over here, really low on clothing, 44. So I think this would be a good thing to grab at this time. Anything to stretch our durability of our things like this, I think is going to be good. So let's go ahead and pick that up. And then we're still kind of waiting for some silver coins so we can get some animal power so that we can get some horses and donkeys, and then we can start using those guys, but we're not quite there yet. Trying to do the trades in the background, which is also working on our rep and trying to get some coins. So I'm trying to do a couple things. We have a goal set. We're trying to get there, but with this little pickle going on right now, we have to deal with this. It's the prominent problem we have to fix. We do have some immigrants on the timeline, luckily. So we just got to bide our time, and then we'll get that little boost of workers once those immigrants get here. Then it's probably going to be about 24 people. That's what it was last time. Ooh, we have a lot of trade goods. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I do have tobaccos up over here. We could back that off as well. Since we're taking out so many of these little kind of extra industries, I'm not producing a whole lot of trade goods. That's what I thought anyways. So we don't have a whole lot of things to trade for the money for rep. So it's kind of a snowball effect with this base problem. We have to deal with it. We do have a couple things. We have oven, toilet, and some puppies. So I don't know if I upgraded some of our old folks' home. We got one over here. Yes, this one is not upgraded. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We got puppies. We got the water closet. And, ooh, we can even do luxury furniture. So let's, maybe we want to hold off on that. I'm just going to wait in case there's some building more toward the end here that's going to need some luxury furniture. The seal fur we're getting is very slow. So when we have over 100 right there, I don't want to just blow it right away on that stuff. And I missed the harvest, so I'm not sure what it looked like over here. Just too busy not thinking about it. So we'll have to catch the next one. Hopefully it's not getting too late here. We are now in the green with water. I haven't done anything with water. It might just be the population balance. I haven't been watching total population, but there's no way it's in the positive direction. Let's see if there's a graph for population. There was a population graph. I don't think I've ever used this. So this is in your town details eye. So let's see, population graph, inhabitants, adults, students, and children. You can see there's a drop off when I turned off that last school because we don't have any students because there's no school. So let's look at our last 5 years trend. Yes, so we were up to 700 people at one point, and we are now down to like 500, I think it was. Not quite that low, but yeah, we are definitely on the decline for people, especially over the last couple of years here. So we got to do something about it. We got to get our food figured out here and get, I really think the vendors are going to help, and I really think the roads are going to help. So we have to just wait and see in time here. To see if those things have made the difference that we really require of them. Industry or agriculture, many workers have found that they can increase work efficiency and production by increasing power and water consumption at the expense of producing more wastewater containing pollutants. Grant them a permit. I think at this point we're kind of desperate, so let's go ahead We have plenty of water. We can do this. Let's do that. Self-purification capacity of water is surpassed as more wastewater has been discharged for the increased production output. This pollution has led to a decline in fishery production. Uh-oh. Maybe that wasn't the best idea. We are kind of reliant on our fish over here for a big source of food. Ooh, you know what I just thought of? Speaking of fish, so we were banning fish. So let's see. If we go to product or stock management right here, we do have some chilies and we've been saving up. Those are turning those into veggie salads. We got our meat chops and fish. So right now, yeah, we don't have a ton of fish or a ton of honey, but I think because, again, I'm getting a little desperate here, I'm gonna unban those things, the honey and the fish, and we can just consume those as they are. Anything at this point. 18,000. I was able to at least buy myself some time with the huge amount of food we had saved up, but it's quickly running out. So what I'm gonna do, I think, oh, we got naked people too. Cripe. Let's do a quick little peek around here. I'm gonna pause the game again. I don't want to change shoes. Let's back off some paper, people. We're at 5 workers right now. Beer would be nice to keep going for happiness, but I'm gonna back that off as well. Let's take back these jade workers. Would be nice to keep those going, but we can't right now. And ooh, we may need to have a little bit of upgrades going on here to the clothing factories to produce enough clothes for us here. So down jackets are what we're mostly currently making, but let's go ahead and swap to rough clothes in hopes that we'll be able to make them a little bit more quickly. And we'll go ahead. Yep, that one's got 2. This one needs an extra worker. Okay, let's go for that. And we'll just make sure that everybody's maxed out for that. Okay, so, and they got passive, so the clothing should last a little bit longer. So what I think I'm going to do here is we are going to wait a little bit until we get our immigrants here, and then I'll bring you back. In the meantime, I'm just going to continue doing what we've been doing, going around, tweaking stuff, making minor adjustments and tweaks, and waiting for my obsidian roads to get built up mostly. So I'll be back in just a second. All right, our immigrants are nearly here, and I did find an overall food graph. I just had to look a little bit. Under Town Details Production Graph, turn on graph mode. For me, I like graphs because I'm a very visual person, so this teaches me a little bit more. So 1 year ago is where we are here on the far left, and then the present. So we can see we did increase slightly. I'm going to guess that was maybe the harvest season. But you can see up here that we are down about 6,000 food per year. So we have to add a little bit more. And then I did catch the harvest in the last year up over in here, and I'll bet you we lose 75% of the materials that are grown here. And I mean, that's just, it's ridiculous. So that's not really an acceptable thing to lose that much. It's a waste of workers, it's a waste of time over here. So one thing that I think I need to do is add in a couple of more storage spaces. I'm not certain. We have a few over here. We have 3 warehouses right here. I do have one way over here. So this area I feel like should be covered with warehouses and the storage thing. The thing that I think might be a partial issue is maybe they're walking too far for cold and water and whatever. But I'm not sure why, with 4 workers and the upgrade, why this is doing so horribly. If I catch it in this season, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's horrible. We lose so much. So what I'm kind of thinking of, I'm gonna leave that. One thing that I was thinking about doing is maybe adjusting it. So take these couple people out of there like that, and then instead putting them over here on a couple of these farms on the end. I mean, I feel that 6 people working on one farm is a lot. It's just, it doesn't seem like it should be that way, you know? So we'll put 6 on there for now, and we're going to go ahead and see if those immigrants have arrived at the town center yet. They should be here shortly if they aren't. They're not quite there yet. So, oh, here's a big line of them. They'll be there in a second. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about with that little area. And then over here, I did add in additional storage stuff. Same kind of idea. I figured maybe these 4 farms needed something else. I don't know. Well, I guess these warehouses are max. They're 100. So, yeah, maybe they do. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade those, and I'm going to grab those immigrants before I forget about it. 23 more people. That'll be great. So another thing that I want to try. So over here, we have all sorts of corrals that are good to go, right? They're just hanging out. So one thing that I was thinking of, these are nice because we aren't going to lose animals to the cold, right? Well, I don't think so anyways. But anyway, yeah. So we're going to put some workers in here is kind of what my thought is. So if we do that, then we should be able to have a little bit more food coming in, I would hope. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go buffalo on the first 3 here. And then let's go ahead and go for alpaca on the other 2. Let's just see here, 154 geese from that one. And then buffalo, we got 218. So slightly better on the buffalo. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So corrals 14, 15, and 16 need some more buffaloes. So we're going to go ahead and separate. We go ahead and go for about half there. 14, 15, 16. Let's go ahead and separate. So what this is going to do, of course, is reduce the initial amount of materials that we're going to produce from these corrals because we're not going to be at cap anymore, right? So they'll go over there to these new spots and then they'll start to reproduce and then we'll have more buffalo. And in the end, further down the road, then we'll be looking better as far as increased food production. That's the hope anyways. So all of our corrals are good to go now. And we're at 6,000 food. It's not good. Not good at all. So we need to really hope that this season works out well for us. Something that I'm going to do, 27 workers. I'm going to put a little bit, I feel like this is going to be extra workers in here, which is great. That's what we need to have. 23. We got lots of peas up here. Peas a good, powerful thing for us. So we're going to go ahead and add a few more in here as well. Why didn't that work? Oh, there it goes. Okay, and then I lost somebody there, and then we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so this little bundle has quite a few more workers in there. Oh, we need one more. And hopefully that makes a difference. So let's just wait a little bit longer. I want to show you the harvest season, and I want to see what this side looks like as well. I really just focused over here in the last harvest. So I want to see, first of all, if these 6 people over here make a difference, and what else we may need to do over here. Again, I think once these roads get completed, that's going to help us quite a bit. Okay, so here's the snow coming. It is September time now. We have the vast majority of this field right here. And you can see disappearing. We'll be able to check the this year and last year comparison with these 2 farms, which would be good. It looks like most of the peas got off that field. And then look at this. We're going to lose all of that. And all of these over here. Oh, let's go check the other side of the world. Pause the game there for a second. And then over here, it looks like this is doing a little bit better. But yeah, I'm going to leave the 3 workers on there. I think I'm going to have to upgrade all of these to 3 people on each farm, which is so many people dedicated to that. But we still, even with 3 workers, we're losing stuff. So let's go back over here and check out the production differences with 2 additional people. Pretty significant. We got about 500 more peas out of this first field and like about less than 300 in the second. So the 2 additional workers did make a difference. Now, was it worth them moving into the other fields instead of keeping them at their own? What? 71? In this case, absolutely. 71. Okay, in this one, 868. So in that instance, it wasn't worth moving those 2 people. In this one, absolutely it was. Here's 690. So even with most of the field disappearing in the wintertime, having these 2 people from each of these back to a total of 4 on their own farms, for the most part, is more productive. So we might have to do that. But for now, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Settlement Survival. Hey, if you got any ideas on what else we can do to help with the saving the town pretty much, please let me know in the comments, and then we will go through them and we'll get them implemented. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic, amazing rest of your evening, day, or night.